Hello, everybody. Welcome back to DND404. I am your DM, Tony. And joined with me today are the other three YouTube videos I fall asleep to, starting with the wonderful nature sounds of Jared.
What's going on, guys? Armos checking in, and my video of choice when going to sleep is currently on Twitch. There's OnlyFans, which is the World of Warcraft Vanilla WoW expansion thing that they're doing. Anyways, the whole drama and watching all the people that have died recently in World of Warcraft Vanilla Hardcore has been wonderful. So literally late night, I'll watch it for a good 30 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, it's 2 a.m. I need to go to bed. So
OnlyFans Twitch World of Warcraft drama?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No. World of Warcraft Hardcore. Death. Yes. That's how down the rabbit hole I went. Dan, what about you?
Hello, everybody. My name is Dan. I play Minnis Pebblewalker, your tiny little swarm keeper ranger, and I am the world's most boring video ever made, the Microsoft Word tutorial from 1989. If you've never watched this tutorial, it is 2 to 5 minutes and I'm dead asleep. My friend and I discovered it while under the influence one night. And
Under the influence of what?
Things.
Under the influence of what?
All kinds of stuff. And
Methamphetamine.
No.
Black
Does anyone be sleeping?
Wow.
Acid.
Wow.
He's wide awake.
And it is, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to post in the Discord when this episode comes out. It is hilarious how boring this video is. Don't even know how I came across it, to be honest.
You were learning Word, obviously.
Yes, I was learning 1989 Word, the original Microsoft Word.
That's crazy.
But that's what gets me to sleep. What about you, Alec?
Sup, bitches? My name's Alec. No, I'm just kidding. My name's Alec. I play Drell the Ashborn, and my YouTube video that I fall asleep to is TCG vending POV videos. So like it's like TCG traders that go to like Collecticon or whatever other like card shows, and it's just like them filming their interactions with people, like coming by collecting. It's like Pokemon, Dragon Ball, One Piece. It's pretty cool. It's also a really bad habit that it got me back into. So yeah.
That's an awesome one.
Yeah. What about you, Tony?
Anything that involves laying bricks at a construction site. Just the smooth rhythmic motions of bricklaying. I don't know. Something about that tool scraping up against the brick with the cement and you go, or when they take the slice, they go, boop, plop, scrape. Puts me to sleep every time. It's great.
What about the dude that like builds like huge houses out in the middle of the jungle? Like he builds bricks on his own and then puts them in. Does that count?
Those are cool, but I'm talking about the most basic, paid by the hour bricklayer.
I do have a runner up. It's piggybacking off of Dan's. Recently watched the Excel World Championship.
No,
Bro, they're trying to go to sleep night, fucking party.
I was gonna say my adrenaline's going just hearing about it.
Oh my gosh.
The Excel World Championship is crazy.
Oh man, it's crazy to see.
Oh my god, keyboard commands. It's like you only get that excitement from StarCraft 2 tournaments if you want to see that type of movement on a keyboard.
Right.
All right, now you know the deal. Before we do the recap, we're going to do the rundown. Today's rundown is brought to you by Dan. Take it away, Dan.
Hello, everybody. I am running down the YouTube today. First of all, thank you to Knockmock in the Discord for supplying that suggestion. Again, as always, if you want to suggest things, all you need to do is be subscribed to us at any level, and you have access to that channel in the Discord. And you can post suggestions for the intros. But like I was saying, YouTube, we are starting to post YouTube videos on there. It may not be up by the time this video is out. It might be up the following weekend, but look out for a video that Jared, Tony, and I were just able to shoot where we essentially rate your D&D setups, and maybe more than rate, we, what's the word?
Tear down.
Disappointed?
Roast. Simple words here. Where we roast your D&D setups. It was a really fun time. There were pretty cool setups you guys had, and then some of the more hilarious ones were the simpler setups that you sent. So if you want to see more of those kind of videos, go on over to our YouTube channel and let us know what you'd like to see on there. Maybe in Discord, in the idea section, you can send ideas for YouTube content as well, and we'll, if we have time, try to shoot it. But that's all for me, Tony. Take it away.
All right, now you know the deal. It's where I roll for the recap, where I roll a giant foam D4 half-eaten by my bunnies, where I'm number 1. 2 is Alec. 3 is Dan. 4 is Jared.
How you doing?
Yes, sir. Now, how am I dunking this die in my neck?
You know what? How about you just shoot a 3 and we'll see how it goes?
So you're telling me I need to get a 3-pointer?
Yeah.
And that's who does it? All right, you guys got a couple minutes?
Yeah, you need to make it.
Let's see how this first one goes. And
Maybe a
then,
2-pointer.
It's hard to get an arc. You know what I'm saying? You know when you shoot a ball, you got to let it roll out the
That
fingers?
sounds like a skill
It's
issue.
hard to shoot it when you're talking.
Yeah.
Well, let these skills do the talking.
I don't know about that, boss.
Let these skills do the talking. I'm getting there. Hold on.
First try. Fuck,
Okay.
man.
First one hit the
try.
picture. Second one hit the corner. All
Let
right.
the skills do the talking.
Oh, that was so
we are
close.
getting closer, though. We are finally.
You will
Okay.
get this. You will get this.
Here we go. Okay.
Can't see it, but it's good.
I like when he's
I'm gonna guess
okay,
it's Jared.
I just want to point this out. The moment he sits down, he's gonna move his camera.
Oh,
No.
just zoom in from there.
Yeah, zoom in.
Yeah.
You're
What are you doing?
you're moving your camera,
What are
not
you-
your zoom.
Wait,
I can see your fucking socks.
I'm
What
sorry.
are you doing?
wrong with your?
Look with your eyes, not the.
It's hard. I'm trying to get it on the camera.
Oh, my brain, it hurts.
It says PAX. It says
It's a
PAX.
4.
It's a 4. I called it. I said it was Jared.
It's a 4.
Holy.
All right, here's the deal. We barely escaped the massive bullet monster, like we're talking inches away from being monster chow, and found some refuge at an outpost. Once we got there, we decided to split up. Minnis went to play nurse at the medical tent, and Drell started flexing his muscles, helping load supplies. And me, I headed straight to the tavern, naturally. But let me tell you, it didn't go as planned. Let's say, heated discussion or 2, maybe 3. Some locals didn't appreciate my charm. Let's just say someone got turned into a snake, and I left a lasting impression. Yeah, I think that's the best way to explain it. Anyways, we finally met up with Morgan Uther. She lays out a wild plan to sneak into the Red City, mountain pass, a spooky manor, and a sewer system. I mean, who doesn't love the smell of sewage in the morning, right? The night was restless, ballistas fire, nightmares, the works. And when we woke up, Morgan led us to the uphill trek into the mountains. We dodged shrieks in the wind and came up face to face with a sleeping basilisk. Well, not face to face, thankfully. But yeah, we managed to slip past without waking it. And now we're heading deeper into the danger zone. Just another day, right?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the world of Humbrea, featuring 3 first-time adventurers and 1 very patient DM. This is DND404. Fellas, boyos, we pick up in today's session in the belly of a piney, spiny, porcupiney, dark, very narrow cave, where the 4 of you 3 plus Morgan, who is your guide, who is just at the edge of her patience with the 3 of you, because the 3 of you have been falling for almost every trap and have been making a lot of noise and using just a little bit too much power to get past some obstacles. Hint, hint, finger of death, I guess a dark mantle, hint, hint. That it appears that the 3 of you have alerted something. And Morgan had revealed something behind the veil, something that lives within the darkness of the cave. A certain breed of dragon. The pathway that the 3 of you were looking down, you were looking down a western cavern hallway where you saw the skitters of a dark dragon with 8 legs skitter on the floor and walls, as it hasn't quite seen you, but looks like it's on the prowl.
Well, shh.
We gotta talk quiet, Drell.
Okay.
The four of you are currently like hiding behind the corner, looking down the hallway while trying to not get poked by the very thorny cavern walls. And Morgan is giving you like a shush symbol, but talking very lowly as she just told you that there's a possible dragon down the way. You do know that you need to head down the western hallway. However, this thing lurks around the corner. So like, Reginald pipes up. You see his ears pop up from Armos' hood. So like, is it like a big dragon? Is it like a baby dragon? You know? I mean, it would be the first dragon.
Oh, I don't know.
You know?
Yeah, Morgan, have you encountered these things face to face?
I have seen them when I passed by here, but I've never made this much noise to actually alert them. They normally tend to hang out towards the northern side of the cave. I've never fully explored it. I just kind of stick to the known path. Now, the way I normally go is I head west down this hallway. There is a southern tunnel system. I've never traveled that way before. It looks a bit like a corkscrew. Maybe you can get lost within them. I never took the chance, but I always went straight west and then headed south.
Oh.
She shows you like a crude map, and you can see on the map, you see that she has like a rough outline that she has laid out for you. So we could take our chances, head westward. Perhaps we could be stealthy enough to not alert it. It doesn't seem possible. Very narrow hallways. It looks like this thing can get around quite easily. Or we head southward from here and hope that it reconnects back to the main tunnel system, which leads out of here.
I mean, I don't really want to go directly past that thing if we don't have to, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think fighting that thing in a small tunnel like this might be a problem. So I think trying to just avoid it and sneak
Not that
past
we couldn't. We obviously could.
I mean, we could.
We probably would kill it.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even a question. The
Yeah,
question
we're
is,
super
what
strong.
do we
We're
want
really
to do
strong.
right now? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're totally strong. We can do it. It's a matter of mental resources.
So I think what we want to do is avoid it. I think we're all on the same page, right, about that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I just look back at Morgan like that's what we decided.
Okay, we could avoid it. That still leaves two choices. We can head south from here, or we can head westward down the hallway and travel to that southern trail.
So do we want to go west and then south? Is that what you want to do, Armos? You can see farther than I can.
I mean, I don't see anything. We heard it, and all the way over to here, I don't see anything. But we know it's definitely down this way. So if we do, we'd have to be super quiet. And I look over at Morgan and I glance her a look like, please be quiet.
The fox gives like a little bit of a grumpy face. Is there any checks the three of you were doing?
Yeah, I would like to make a perception check on like listening for any sort of sounds or anything regarding both pathways.
Okay, if you would like, I'll also allow you to make a survival check.
I will do that. Yes, I will. Thank
Go
you
ahead and
very
make me a
much.
survival check.
So I'm putting my ear to the ground, listening for the hooves of horses. I don't know why I rolled that. A dirty 20.
You place your ear to the ground to the very compact earth. You don't sink into the floor, and it feels very cold. As you look to the floor, the one thing you notice is that you don't see any tracks of any kind. But with a dirty 20, you notice that there are peg holes in between the spiky rocks on the walls, and that lets you look up at the ceiling. And that instantly gives you the sense that whatever's traveling here has more of a peg leg rather than feet, because you're not seeing any footprints. You're seeing
Pirates.
You're seeing like peg holes or like something that ends in the shape of like a spear moving throughout the tunnel, and it's moving through the walls and the ceiling rather than the floor, because the floor looks like unmoved earth to you. So anything that's leaving imprints in the walls and ceiling is not doing it on the floor, and it seems intentional. The next thing you hear the faint thuds, light thuds down the western hallway from the creature you saw, this dragon-esque creature that you heard from the western side. But you also hear similar sounds from your east, but not directly from the south, the path you're facing, like through the cavern wall. You feel like if you put your ear to the spiky wall to the east of you, you hear similar creeping sounds, like thuds. You get the sense that there's more than one of these things.
Okay, so plot twist. I think there's more than one of these things. And I'm pretty sure the one we saw is like some sort of like dragon spider hybrid or something like that. Because like, see, these aren't normal, like obviously like dragon footprints.
And I like point to the holes that I've seen that like make the imprints on the ground.
I mean, even if there's two, there's four of us. We got the numbers. Very true. Very true. Yeah. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then there's no use waiting here. Should we just keep going to the left and try and be as quiet as possible, and then hit that southern route before where we saw it?
Yeah, I think that might be the best choice.
Okay, let's try that.
So you're going to head westward down the long cavern hallway.
Yes.
This is a very thin hallway, and you would have to travel single file, or else you're going to get stabbed by the cave walls. Everybody make me stealth checks and tell me who's going first. And that's how we're going to do the stealth check order.
I guess Minnis will go just after Morgan.
Yeah, and then so it'll be Morgan, Minnis, Drell, Armos.
Morgan, Minnis, Drell, Armos. Got it. Morgan looks at you, affirms to the plan, and begins to travel westward. You see as she begins to move, she fades into the darkness and dips southward, moving silent as the night. You don't hear any footsteps. Minnis, go ahead and make me a stealth check as you make it to the southern hallway, the southern cavern hallway, halfway down the hall.
16.
You feel quiet, and you are sure that you are quiet, but you hear some crackles in the distance of like slightly moving, like pebbles drifting in the distance. Drell, go ahead and make me a stealth check.
All right, no whammies. That's a 12.
As you head westward, you trip and your armor clanks to the side of the rocky wall, stabbing you in the most narrowest kink of your armor. You're gonna take 1 point of damage as it pokes you, and you feel that, and you hear that clang of the metal echoes, and you hear some thuds from the west. That creature that went to the northern hall, you hear some shifting in the distance as it looks like it's trying to now it's moving around. You feel that it's alerted.
I try to immediately look backwards and make everyone else think it was Armos.
Armos, shut up.
Give me a deception check.
Oh my god, it was almost nat 20. That's a 2. Is it 2?
I got a 13 on my perception
Make
check.
more noise as you try to alert to Armos.
Yeah.
So is Drell blocking the way now, or was he able to make it?
He dips into the southern corridor, but you heard him make noise on the way, and you hear the movement of this creature in the distance.
Is Armo still invisible?
Always. But I go invisible. So let's just do this. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to stealth it. I think that's the best thing I can do. All right, here we go. First roll of the day. 16.
16. You're with your invisibility, and the fact that nothing's blocking you, you're able to make it to that hallway. And as you go to turn, as you're traveling down, you see the long neck of this black dragon veer out and like look down the hallway. You see that, you feel like it's looking right at you. However, you are invisible. And then it softly, quietly lurches its long leg that resembles a spider, and you see all these long, draconic, scaly spider legs poke into the walls and ceiling as it grips and spider walks along the wall, encompassing the whole pathway. And you see that it's really just like a long neck of a dragon with a dragon's head and just 8 spider legs along its snake-like body. And you see that there is web and like this red sinew and white sinew of web in between of all of its limbs as it begins to like leave a trail of web as it slowly crawls down the hallway, and it looks like it's prowling. Almost, you see it coming before you dip in there. What are the 4 of you doing?
So it's coming towards us.
It inches closer and closer, and you hear the gurgles coming from its dragon mouth.
Since it's obviously coming towards us, it's time to run. I'm gonna cast Shatter on a rock 60 feet behind it.
Do you have to see the target?
Yeah, I'm assuming that you have to see it. Wait, yes.
It's taking up the whole hallway. You cannot see past this thing.
What if he rolls an nat 20 on a perception check?
Give me an Arcana check to see if you can manipulate your spell to try to erupt behind it as you're trying to deceive it
All right, I'm using inspiration on that one.
What'd you roll?
A 3. I got a 19.
Yes, if for those who hasn't listened to the Tony Plays, because he did a wonderful job DMing for Dan and I, he gave an inspiration die for this session, which he's using, and you rolled a
19.
19. You're able to manipulate the dark weave that is emanating from Reginald to cast your shatter spell. And you see that it goes off, so it is not hitting it directly, right?
No.
You're trying to distract it. Okay.
Yes.
You see that as the shatter and rocks erupt, you feel a small eruption. You feel that it did a little bit more than just make noise. You feel that you've collapsed a possible pathway in the tunnel system.
Uh-oh.
And Morgan has this shocked face on her. Like, what did you just do? And you see that the dragon coils within itself as it sharply turns towards the noise and then begins to skitter. At first, when it was moving and prowling, it did not make a sound as it slowly walked, but now it is making as it charges in that direction of the sound of the shatter spell and begins to look for whatever made that noise. And you feel it trail off.
When Morgan turns around, there's like a blinking outline of where I used to be, and I'm already going down the other way. Because I'm like, nope.
The outline. Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep. As the dragon skitters down the hallway, you hear from behind you the similar sounds of another
Yep.
dragon rushing towards that same location as the shadow reverberates through the whole cave system. Boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna need everybody to make me initiative, not because necessarily we're in combat, but now things have movement and we need to take things turn by turn.
Did you get my 0 that I rolled? 14.
Ooh, how about a 23?
How about a big old 0?
We're gonna start at the top of the round, and this year 23 Minnis as the earth-shattering shatter echoes from the western wall that from Armos' spell. You now feel that there is 2 of these dragons on alert and now rushing towards the sound. You hear a sound from your east, you hear the sound from your west. Morgan looks in your direction, and you're already gone as you went 30 feet ahead. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's exactly that. I'm trying to get 30 feet forward with my initial move action. And then when I get down the end of the hall, there's a path to the left that goes south and then to the east. And then there's something that veers off to the west. So I think I'm going to use a dash action. Yeah, I'm going to use a dash action and go 35 more feet to the west where I might be getting screwed.
When you make that dash action and you run right after that shadow went off, you did notice something along your travels. You noticed that there was a green stream of water that was lightly pouring out from the north wall into the south wall, and it looks like it was like slipping between the cracks to the floor. You like hopped over it. It was effortless. You didn't have to make a check for it, but you did notice that there was water flowing within the caverns. And from the water symbols from Morgan's map, you get the sense that it leads to some type of pond area. And as you travel eastward, as you stop after making that dash action, you see this spider dragon just looking all around. It has its back to you, but it looks on high alert and is currently skittering all around. So since you use your dash action, do you have any other actions to try to hide yourself?
Bonus action, Nature's Veil.
You go invisible.
It'll give me a moment to think while the others take their turns.
Absolutely. We're going to go to initiative 14, which is Drell and this creature.
Well, I guess I would just follow Minnis. So I'll take off in the same direction that Minnis is taking off in. I can only go 60 feet from where I'm at. So I'm just gonna go 60 feet down the hall. Yeah. So I'll be a little bit farther back behind Minnis, but I'm just gonna follow him. Since I can't see in the dark, I'm just trying to stick with the group that is at least leading the way.
So you don't see Minnis.
Yeah, you probably see my feather. You probably saw my feather in the distance, and then all of a sudden the light goes out.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just gonna be like, Minnis, where are you?
Drell, go back.
What?
Go back.
It's too late. I'm already here.
You don't see Minnis anywhere. You are now in pitch blackness.
Fuck, it's so dark.
You don't see anything.
Where do you go?
You feel like your back is near the walls.
Ow.
Minnis, you see this dragon turn around and look in your direction, and it then takes a sniff. And it begins to walk in your direction. but it walks quietly. It doesn't make a sound. Make me a dexterity. Make me, it's not a saving throw. Make me a stealth check as you try to get as flat as you can on the floor to try to, as this thing tries to pass over you, if you do not want to be caught by it.
That is a 29.
29. This thing, because this thing is spider climbing on the walls and ceiling, you see that it goes over you. It does not make a sound.
I turn my head at the last second as its like peg leg swoops across.
And as you see this thing go over, you look ahead.
Minnis.
Yeah, you hear Drell go, Minnis.
Oh no.
Drell, you turn around
Minnis, where'd you go?
completely unaware and you feel this breath waft over you.
Oh, fuck. I don't want to turn around.
And the rumbles of this creature as it's going to take a bite at you. No big deal, no big deal. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It got a nat 20.
Okay.
No big deal, no big deal. Got a nat 20, no big deal, no big deal. It's cool. It's not that much damage, I promise. You are gonna take 35 points of poisoning damage as this thing, as you feel these teeth and powerful more bite you and chomp you from the darkness, and it begins to wriggle. Make me a strength saving throw as this thing is now clenched within its mouth.
Ow, Minnis.
And you hear the roars of a dragon reverberate through your armor as you are bitten.
29.
29. You're able to free yourself as you rip open its jaw, but it tries to come down with another attack, as you can make several attacks. So that's going to be with regular. It's not going to have advantage. That is going to miss the 17 as it slams down its head and tries to bite you again.
I'll be with you in a second, Drell.
Oh, I would like to use my bonus or my reaction to riposte that missed attack and hit him.
This riposte is just you swinging blindly in the darkness. You're going to make it at disadvantage.
Okay, that is a 13.
A 13 is going to miss.
All right. All right, well then that is my turn.
That is going to be your turn as we're going to move to initiative 10, which is more of this movement rushing towards your direction.
That's probably not good.
Armos, as you are invisible, you see from the other end of the hall, heading in your direction rapidly, is another one of the dragons. You heard the roar from the south where it's fighting Drell and Minnis. You heard the roars and the snapping of its bite. You look behind you and it's coming your way. However, it doesn't see you because you're invisible, but it is heading in your direction.
Man, I'm really glad Armos still has Finger of Death. We should be okay.
Oh, yeah.
As Drell thinks to himself.
Yeah.
Good thing my friends are here.
While on initiative 10, you hear Morgan go, "Find a place to hide. We gotta get away from these things. Try to find somewhere safe." And then you hear on initiative 10, Morgan run off very quickly, and then her footprints go silent as you see that she runs into the darkness. She ran southward. And then we're gonna go to initiative 1, Armos. This thing looks like it's charging. You get the feeling that it was dashing in your direction.
Oh, what to do? She said to run and hide. Is that correct?
That's what she said.
Reginald, help me.
As a
Oh my God, Drell needs help. He needs us,
Now,
Armos.
where did Minnis go?
Armos, what are we doing?
Why is this so dark?
Armos, it's our initiative. What are we doing?
Please.
I think I have an idea. I'm going to cast a wall of force right in front of me and this spider dragon.
What does Wall of Force do?
It's an invisible wall that springs into existence at the point you choose within range. The wall appears in any orientation you choose, horizontal or vertical, barrier, or at an angle. It's free floating or resting on a solid surface. You can form it into a hemisphere dome, blah, blah, blah. Nothing can physically pass the wall. It is immune to all damage and can't be dispelled by magic. A disintegrate spell destroys the wall instantly. However, the wall exists into the ether plane.
Ethereal plane. Yes.
Ethereal plane.
No, it's the ether plane for sure.
Blocking ethereal travel through the wall. Anyways, okay, I cast that. Bow.
You cast Wall of Force, and this invisible wall appears between you and the spider dragon. Let's go, Armos. Let's go. You have to concentrate on that, right?
I can't hear you. I'm concentrating.
Okay. As you begin to concentrate on this spell, you notice a tinge within your mind. Something seems off. The spell goes through, and you're maintaining concentration albeit you feel a little dampened. You feel that there's a presence within your mind, a dark presence, similar to the magics that you have with Reginald. The same type of connection. The connection you feel with Reginald, you feel a second connection within your mind, as if something is trying to get your attention, but not in a threatening way. But the nature of it, because you deal with these type of things, you know that it could lead to a threatening scenario. The nature of where it emanates from is not good. But you get as if someone's like trying to knock at the door, trying to communicate with you, just faintly. How do you react to that?
I take note of it, but I'm too busy worrying about what's happening to address it at this point, and I start kind of walking towards Morgan.
So you begin to head southward, and Reginald goes, weird, very, very weird. You see his hairs begin to lift, and you head south. It's hard to see Morgan for a second, but as you head southward, you see that she appears for you and goes shh as she alerts you to her presence. And you see in the middle of the room, there is this green, gooey lake. Pond, I should say. Small body of water in the center of this room. And it looks like the room opens up in a 30-foot radius. What else are you doing on your turn?
I think that's all I can do. Cast a spell, I moved. No bonus action, I'm all good.
Minnis, District 23, just barely behind, kind of under its tail of the spider dragon, trying to chomp at Drell in the dark hallway. What are you doing?
Drell, as you start getting attacked in the darkness, you can't really see anything around you. The light all of a sudden starts to come back. The glow emanates again in this cavern. And behind this dragon, two glowing eyes come into view, and an 8-foot tall guardian of nature. Vines around vines appear behind the dragon, and you hear in this like ethereal voice, "Don't touch my friend!" As I bonus action cast Guardian of Nature. A nature spirit answers your call and transforms you into a powerful guardian. The transformation lasts until the spell ends. You choose one of the following forms, either Primal Beast or Great Tree. I'm choosing Great Tree. I get 10 temporary hit points. I make Constitution saving throws with advantage. I make Dexterity and Wisdom-based attack rolls with advantage. And while moving on the ground within 15 feet of me is considered difficult terrain for my enemies. So they have difficulty moving around me. And I'm going to start attacking this motherfucker as this 8-foot tall guardian of nature.
Oh my god.
You turn into this magnificent tree, this minotaur-shaped tree, as vines and foliage begin to spread through the crevasses and twists and turns of the spiked walls. As you are, it's a bit tight in here. It's a bit tight. There's an 8-foot tall spirit guardian. It's a bit tight for you. But you see that this dragon instantly turns around and lets out this low hum of a growl.
That first roll is going to be a 20 to hit.
Hits.
The second roll is going to be a 30 to hit.
Jesus Christ. 30. Laura, 30 hits.
As it is going to take 31 points of piercing damage from my rapier. And Drell can now see as I've come back out of invisibility and my glowing feather. You can see the glowing feather is behind all the vines, Drell, so the glow in my eyes is coming from my feather.
It's pretty fucking rad.
You see this dragon-shaped light just illuminate, because like it goes light so is dragging you, and you're just seeing all this light shine through the cave with the dragon in front of it as it's getting beaten by this tree rapier.
That's my turn.
And then we're gonna move to edition of 14. Drell, now illuminated. You can see. You can fight.
I would like to attack. Am I still rolling with disadvantage due to the size of the cavern, or since I see him, I don't need to worry about that anymore?
It's a normal attack roll now.
Okay. 27, 25, 27.
Hits.
Cool.
Ow, ow, ow.
Bang, bang, bang.
And then just so you know, so we're all on the same page, as of right now, I am
am adding the +3 to all of my damage, not my attack or AC. I'm using it.
Yes, using your father's axe, use your bonus action to give yourself a +3 weapon. Yes.
73 damage.
Hey, 73 points of damage. This thing shrieks in pain and roars as like his legs like twist and frazzle from the 3 grievous attacks.
And then I would like the action surge.
Sure.
Nice.
Nice.
Let's just get rid of this guy real quick.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm being saved by the tree man.
That's 26.
It's
Dirty 20.
it's
15.
it's
Oh, wow.
misses. The misses.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it's too late. You already said it though.
I bet.
You
I bet.
can't go back on it. Wait.
This guy felt really confident. This monster felt super confident. Now there's a tree spirit and
I did not see a giant tree come into this cavern, I'll be honest with you.
Another 48 damage.
It had exactly 48 health points left as you come down with these 2 attacks.
that's amazing.
As the second one chops its long head in half, as it begins to writhe on the floor and freak out, and it roars loudly. The caverns shake and the body echoes as it thuds all around. Armos, you feel like there's an earthquake happening by how violently this thing is convulsing on the floor. Not only do you see this greenish blood, you see web spew out of its veins and tiny spiderlings with scales, with draconic scales, come out of its body and begin to skitter away. They're the size of normal, like house spiders, but you notice that all these spiders spew from its blood.
Ew.
And you see that like a lot of them begin to crawl on
Oh my god.
crawl on Minnis because he's a giant tree, but they go in all directions. Some of them go over your foot, they skitter, they try to hide in the cracks of the spiked wall. This thing is dead.
Bang.
Nice.
I'll do a second wind as a bonus action and regain some hit points. So it's 1d10 plus 13. Nice. So that's 23 damage I get back. Rolled 10 on it. Classic.
Then I point behind you and you hear, "We need to save Armos."
Oh my god. Yes, tree Minnis. Drell bows.
You see all these Sids come out. They're no longer rocks, but they're just like logs.
Oh my god.
And they have like a little leaf on them.
Lincoln sits.
Meh.
They're all Pikmin.
Yeah, they're all Pikmin. The main one has the flower on its head.
They just all look like
Wow.
baby Groot. They're just like,
Right.
Moving to initiative 10 is the other spider dragon. As you hear these rumbling skids, boom, hits the wall of force. Armos, you feel that this thing just hit the wall. And then you hear some silence. It goes. You hear the large movements go the other way.
Goodness, these things can move far.
You see as it comes from the southwestern corridor. Armos, Morgan looks over as you're concentrating on the wall of force to the north. She pulls your cape and points to the south as you see this spider dragon enter from another direction
Oh, damn it.
and begins to spew. It is going to use its bonus action because it had to make a dash to get in there. You see that between its legs, spider webs in between the pits of its legs spew out all into the room as this green and white murky web begins to coat the floor and the walls as it spews out and then gently settles. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
A 10?
You fail. You are stuck in this web. To move, you need to make a strength. You need to make a strength check on your turn to try to break free from it. As light as the web looks, it feels very heavy, dense. It does not feel like you could simply cut your way out of it like a net. You feel like there's some durability behind it. So it doesn't look like your average spider's web. Oh, staying on initiative 10, you see that Morgan is going to try to get out of it. She passed her saving throw, so she is not stuck. And you see that she begins to advance northward back the way she came as she looks a little bit scared of it, unaware of what happened with Drell and Minnis. We're going to go to initiative 1, Armos. You also see Morgan fiddling with something, by the way, as she looks like she's getting ready to take an action.
Oh, finally? Okay, cool. Okay, to buy me some time so that I can get out of here, because I just don't trust my strength saving throw at all.
It would be a strength check.
Oh, check? Oh, it's even worse. I'm gonna summon a slot, so with summon
Is it the aberration?
Yep.
Yeah, so you go ahead, you summon using summon aberration, you summoned this black grayish slod, which is like a frog-like creature. It is hulking in size. It looks pretty dense. As it's summoned into this web, immediately gets stuck, but it's going to see if it unsticks. So that means it's going to make a dexterity saving throw as it enters the web.
I want to summon the slot behind the dragon spider guy that's in the hallway. So he's right behind him.
Okay, so it rolled a dexterity saving throw, which is 0. It does get stuck behind it as the web begins to trap its feet. When the spider dragon emitted the web, it was coming from its legs, at the armpits of its legs, so it went in like a 360 motion, which is why the web is behind it. Okay, yeah, so you summon a slot.
I'm going to use one of my last spell slots to Misty Step as a bonus action. Am I able to do that?
Yes, you are.
All right, cool.
That will free you from the web.
I was at the entrance on the kind of north side of this room. Dragon spider down on the southeast side. I summon the slot behind him in the tunnel that he just came from, and as I do that, I misty step towards the entrance to the exit to the west. So hopefully my slot slows this thing down.
Yes. Now it's the slod's turn. What is the slod doing?
So, oh wait, since I'm free, I can actually move still.
Yes, you have your movement action. Yes, you do.
Nice.
I look back. Morgan is right next to me.
She went north. You don't see her from your direction.
Oh, I thought she was right on top of me. All right, never mind. Scratch that. I just run down the hallway 30 feet, and as I run down the hallway, I see Drell there because I have dark vision. So I make it almost to where Drell and Minnis are.
You don't see Minnis. You see a giant hulking bull tree.
Yes. Drell?
Yeah, what's up?
What's with the giant chew toy?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that's Trimus.
Nice one.
What? Another friend? As if Minnis isn't already enough to deal with.
Trimus Leafwalker of the
Now we got a tree.
Redwood.
That's canon.
Yeah, Trimus Leafwalker of the Redwood Forest.
This guy is like
Something like that.
Reginald whispers to you, he's like, man, this guy really needs to I know we told him to branch out, but this is taking a little bit too far.
Armos is safe.
Oh, I don't like this. This place is creepy. I want out.
Yeah, and you see these glowing orange eyes.
Nope.
We're gonna move to initiative at the end of your turn.
Yeah, the slot gets to go.
The slot goes, but right before the slot goes, you feel this knock at your mind again.
Oh god.
And it's a similar presence, and it's feeling a little more forceful as it's trying to communicate with you. You feel like something within the cave is trying to get your attention.
No thanks.
And it's coming from you feel like it's coming from the northern passage.
Oh, I feel like a presence.
Yes.
Hmm.
How do you react to that presence? What are you doing? You feel like it's trying to knock. You feel like it's knocking.
Just like all the terrible things that have happened in my life, just push it down and repress it. We don't got time for this.
Okay. What is the slot doing as we end your turn and move to the giant frog?
Oh, he's taking some hits.
Giant croaks. Big old croaks.
Slot is going to use a multi-attack.
Yeah.
And is going to attack.
It makes 2 attacks because he cast it at 5th level.
I see that. I'm just trying to get the hit down.
Melee attack roll bonus equals to your spell attack modifier. So you're gonna roll a d20 plus 5.
Well, it doesn't matter because he got a 2 or
It
a
is
7.
going to miss.
Good though. He's got a second attack.
That's true.
And he got a 14.
That is going to miss.
Good. He didn't need to do that anyways.
Good distraction.
Yeah.
As you hear these wet slaps against these dragon scales from its webbed hands.
Ooh.
The dragon feels a little embarrassed. As we move to initiative 23, Minnis.
Am I able to like make a dexterity check maybe as I'm like duck to Drell to like walk over him?
What size are you considered?
I just like what do you call it? Flavored it as he's bigger because like he's wrapped in vines and trees, but it's like a medium creature. I'm not like
Does the
large.
spell grant you a size?
No.
It does not. So you are still considered small.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, then you can move
Technically,
through.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so this 8-foot tree figure, the vines move around him, almost creating like a passageway.
Oh my
That's how
God.
we're gonna flavor it.
No, not again. No, I was already eaten by one.
As the branches and vines wrap around you, as you feel some berries lightly tapping you over your. No, I'm kidding. As the vines
Chill.
warp around you, Minnis appears behind you.
In the same giant tree form.
Well, in front of me, right? Because he's walking past me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as I'm walking past Armos, I just say, "Help, Morgan." I'm gonna continue down the hall. I don't see the creature yet.
You continue down this hallway, but no, you do not see the creature yet as you continue.
As Trimus passes me, I let it know at this point. I don't know what you're identifying as, but that it's all the way in the room on the opposite side. I'll be like, she's not over there. She went this way, and I point down the south hallway. How about that?
I'm gonna stand here and use a dodge action where the path from the creature leads to us. I'm standing there and I just point slowly to Armos to go down the hall to get Morgan. I'll protect them is what he's trying to say while they go.
We're gonna go to initiative 14, which is Drell. Drell, what are you doing?
So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of follow Minnis, and I'm gonna go back towards. I guess I'm just gonna go down the way. Okay, so what I would like to do is use my 60 feet of movement to move past where Minnis is, or Trimus, and say excuse me. And then I'm gonna continue with the rest of my movement to move past him and try to reach out to Morgan. And I'm just gonna start.
Yeah, the vines continue to curl and wrap around you to
Oh God,
give
not
you
again.
space.
Not again. And I'm just gonna say, Morgan, where are you? I just killed one of the things. Come back.
You so that's the end of your turn. So we're gonna go to initiative 10. You see this spider dragon looking at the slot, and it immediately growls and roars and then coils around the slot as it's going to attack viciously on it. It is going to make 3 attacks with a 22, a 21, and a 15. Plus the spell's level. It misses because it's at +5, so it has an AC of 16. So it's going to make 2 attacks. It is going to do 56 points of damage as this thing gnaws, scratches, and claws its way into it as it coils around it. Drell, you see as this dragon turns towards the slot, it launches at it and wraps its body around it like a snake, but begins to weave a web around it as it begins to bite and claw as it just goes down the hallway, pummeling down the hallway with the frog, killing it. Almost you feel your spell fading as the slot is eviscerated from this spider dragon, but it goes down the hallway. While on initiative 10, you see Morgan coming from the north hallway with a sword out as it looks like she has just coated it, and the sword is now shining with this radiance. Drell, you feel this light emitting from the sword as you also see that she has like this contraption in her offhand. It looks like a hand crossbow, but you don't see any bolts. You don't see a string or a bow attached to it. And she goes, "You killed one of these things? Where did the other one go? I hear the roars." As Morgan comes from the south, from the north tunnel.
Okay, yeah, just me and Trimus killed one of those back there.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Just go
We should
that
take
way.
this opportunity. Let's make a run for it.
I'll go last. You go that way.
Okay. She's going to use her action to just dash past you as she goes towards and sees Trimus.
Hi, Morgan.
What?
Yeah, that's Trimus.
Oh, okay. Any other pets you have? Anything else you want to alert me to?
That's not a pet. That's Minnis in a tree version.
Giant talking tree?
Yeah, that's him.
I don't have time for questions.
You ever seen Guardians of the Galaxy? It's kind of like
No, different timeline. And she goes, she tries to like get past you as you just open up a wooden door. And she goes, this is a bit awkward, and she goes through.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back to initiative 23. So this spider dragon is currently eating and feasting on the body of the aberration, which is slowly disappearing from Armos' spell, as it completely destroyed it. Since it's the other way, what are the three of you choosing to do?
I think we're just trying to make a run for it, right? We're just trying to get out of the caves.
Yeah. Yep. Morgan's made it very clear that we shouldn't be in here, so
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for Drell to go first. So since I'm on the top of the round, I'm gonna hold my action to launch sling bullet attacks at any monster that comes in sight. Drell, help Morgan.
Okay, we're gonna move to initiative 14, Drell, as Minnis holds his action.
I will just continue past Minnis then and start heading west in the tunnels.
We are going to move to initiative 10, which is this spider dragon. As it begins to feast, you feel the thuds moving in another direction pretty fast, and then they go silent.
uh-oh.
Move to initiative 1, Armos.
Armos is just getting the F out of here.
Armos, as you travel 30 feet and you come across this corridor, you once again feel this knock at your mind, as if something is trying to communicate with you. Something dark in nature, but does not present itself in a threatening way. However, the nature of it feels threatening.
Now that I'm kind of further away from the things, and I'm kind of waiting as Trimus being super slow is taking forever, kind of hone in on it and try to figure out what it is.
You allow this presence into your mind for a moment to read your shallow thoughts. And you hear in a dark whisper in infernal language.
I speak that.
And it says the word assistance. Assistance. Guidance. It sounds like it's asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel a strong presence come from the north. And that's where you feel like whatever is calling out to you is residing. North down this corridor that you are currently in. Assistance. Guidance. A deal to be made.
Can I speak back to it, or is it more of like a one-way radio thing going on here?
You're not entirely sure. It feels like more of a like distress, like a message. You get the sense that it's a message, like it's a version or a modified version of the message spell, but it definitely sounds like a SOS rather than a conversation. You, as one who messes around in the dark arts, know to not always allow something within your mind. This is not like a first time you're communicating with the other side. You know it's threatening, but it's not asking for something that's threatening. So you're getting a sense of an urgency from an SOS from something that was maybe once dangerous, or is not coming at you in a threatening manner. But as the Dark Weave works with it itself in many different ways, you know the nature of which it could potentially have if you were to feed into it. You still have your action, so if you like to make a dash, you could do something, but you can continue the rest of your turn with that information.
Don't know if this is gonna do anything, but more of just to be sure. I'm gonna do protect from good and evil.
Sure. What does protective good and evil do?
Until the start of your turn, one willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures. Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, undead. The protection grants several benefits. The creatures of those types have disadvantage on attack rolls, or the target can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. That's basically it. Just a precaution.
You cast this spell, and you get this strong, you instantly know the nature of what was trying to communicate with you. But the communication, because that spell is now severed, the connection, and is you no longer hear its distress. You get the sense that something undead was trying to reach you. Undead in nature.
Okay, hang on. All right. Well, that would be my turn. I moved and I did an action. Come back to me.
Sure. And we're going to go to initiative 23, Minnis,
Oh my
as
God.
you are now
Oh my God.
standing.
I'm so excited.
As you are now standing and protecting this corridor. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I guess I'll continue back the other way now. Now that I know these guys are good to go.
Yeah, you go turn around. You see Morgan is filling in the gaps in her map that she's making.
Yeah, and I almost don't even run. It's almost like,
A jaunt.
you know how Venom kind of moves around with like all the tendrils pulling Venom through corridors?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that with all the vines going. And
Yes, absolutely. That's dope as fuck.
yeah, that goes past Drell and Morgan. This way. And then I dash to get right behind Armos. Armos,
Ah.
where now?
As he catches up to me, I'm fiddling through my book, trying to look for a spell and wait for the other two.
All right, we're going to go to initiative 14, which is Drell.
I just continue with the group. I just continue moving with everybody.
And you see that Morgan follows behind you because she's next in the initiative order. And we're going to go to initiative 10. Silence. Hear nothing. A few rocks fall, pebbles crack. Initiative 1, Armos.
Okay. Now knowing it's something undead makes me really want to go figure out what it is. I feel in the group that there's something to the north that's trying to speak to us. It's something undead. And
Friend?
We're going to take it out of combat from here because the creature head went silent. You do know this thing hunts in silence, but you don't know where it is residing. So we're going to pull out of combat for now. We're going to hold our initiative number, our initiative order, if we go back into it. And you see that as your page flipping almost. Morgan is like filling out the map. She goes, this is fantastic. I feel like I have getaway plans now that I've been forcefully jutted down. But if we just head south from this direction and then westward, we are home free.
but if we go north,
Oh?
Why would we want to do that?
there's something up there that's trying to speak to me. It's something undead, I'm gonna be honest. It's not a great sign, but
Need
it needs assistance. Help. Yes.
Oh.
Trimus needs help.
I'm going to be honest. We're on a bit of a time crunch here, and I don't want to be in here any longer than we need to be. And you're saying you're getting distress calls from the undead.
Yeah.
I want to use persuasion and persuade her that she could fill out her map more if we go to the north.
Interesting.
Roll me a persuasion check.
I like that.
I think you're gonna have to
18.
persuade Drell as well, because I don't know if I want to do that either.
All right, I'll roll for Drell too. Hang on.
I don't meet a lot of friendly undead
17.
people. 17?
Good.
Yeah, we have a lot of things we need to do.
You do make a valid point. We're already here. She sees the dead body of the other spider dragon. There's a lot of spiders in here. I'm not the biggest fan, but you know what? We're already here. And I feel confident in your abilities.
But I protect you.
He is doing quite a good job. I do feel very protected in your light.
I don't know how long this lasts, and I kind of motion to everything that is Trimus right now.
I just tilt my head.
All right, I'll tell you what. Although we had a few bumps, talked me into it. I kind of want to see what else is in here now that I'm here, now that I have capable fighters on my side. I feel a little more dicey. However, if things go wrong, you're saying undead creatures. We already fought spider dragons. I really don't want to fight anything undead.
Yeah.
So if we see anything weird, out of the ordinary, other than like a skeleton,
Yeah, we run.
I'll talk to a skeleton, sure. It's a little intriguing. But if there's anything weirder than that, I'm out.
Deal.
Yes, we head south. Yep. And then just curves and we're out. And you're going to see a giant weird house in the middle of a cave lake. It's very strange, but it is what it is.
Cave Lake, okay.
Yeah, cave lake with a very gorgeous house that we don't enter.
So, consensus, we're going north?
3 verse 1. I say to draw.
Oh, fuck. Okay, fine. But I'm on the record of this being a bad idea.
Fair.
I immediately am like, all right, guys, let's go. And I go invisible and head north.
We can take a dash action up there, I suppose.
Yeah.
You begin to travel north, and the ground becomes rockier and a little more rougher terrain. And then the northern pathway veers off to the west, and it begins to fork. The path all the way to the west is collapsed in. There's another path to the north, which is very rocky. It looks collapsed in, but however you can traverse through it. But it looks like difficult terrain for some.
The path to the east, where we came from, that's where Armos shot his shatter.
Yes. And you see that it's all messed up and broken in. You guys begin to travel north and it becomes very rocky. And then the ground is a little bit red, dried blood on the floor. You notice that there are some thick webs ahead and it rears off to the east. And you find that there's another corridor to the north.
Okay, I want to take down the protection of good and evil and try to talk to this thing.
You take down the protection of good and evil and you hear this distress call again. Help. Assistance. Closer. Closer. You look into this room and you see that there are skulls on the floor that are covered in this red, dried, coagulated blood. You see heavy webs also scattered throughout. And then in the northeast corner of the room, you see a throne made up completely of bones. It looks like a human-like figure can sit in it. And then the room continues to expand westward. It looks like you can see the eastern side from your location, but you cannot see the western side. Closer. Enter. So that we may speak. Assistance.
No one else hears this, right? It's only Armos.
Only Armos.
Yeah. All right.
What are we doing, Armos?
There's something in here, and I kind of point over there, but I don't think Drell can even see it, but there's a throne.
I squint really hard into the dark.
I kind of see it.
I cast Firebolt just as like a quick like little light to light it up for him.
You cast Fireball and you shoot the northern wall in that direction to try to illuminate. And rather than it bounce off some rocky walls, it feels like you just hit flesh as the walls begin to reverberate as if you just hit skin. And it begins to ripple. And as you walk into the room, you see that on the western side of these two massive eyes on separate sides of the room. You see that the floor is filled with skulls and dried blood, and you see that the eyes blink out of rhythm. The whole room looks to be made up of rocky flesh, skulls of various creatures on the floor that are making up the cavern wall, and you see these huge spider webs everywhere kind of connecting everything. And from the ceiling, you notice as you begin to look around at this room made of flesh that there are two additional spider dragons acting as guardians as they softly skitter in the room, but they do not attack. They are staring at you. Thank you for coming. As the room now reverberates, you hear this dark voice fill the room. You do not see a mouth move, but the eyes are locked onto you, onto the group of you. Morgan is instantly freaked out. She goes, okay, I know I said it was okay to talk to a skeleton, not a room made of flesh.
Yeah, me neither.
There are also, you see that she takes out her modified hand crossbow, cocks it back. You hear a mechanism turn within the crossbow, and she takes out her longsword, and you see these two snarling spider dragons hissing from the ceiling, growling at you. A favor to be asked. Who has such bravery to answer its call?
What kind of favor? As I'm keeping my eye on, I'm sure the group is looking at the one that's closest. I'm looking at the further one.
You have entered my home and have dispatched one. And you see the two dragons snarl and growl and roar at you from the ceiling. But that is okay, as they are here to protect me in my newfound home. There's no need to beat around a battered bush. I am stuck here. And you, and you see that the eyes, both eyes train and lock in on you almost. Armos says your name. As you allowed it to enter the shallow part of your mind, it knows that your name now. It goes, I am Brixis. If you are entering the city of Stratham, you are going to be passing my original home, and I have a favor to ask of you. Behind you is my body. You see one of the giant flesh eyes on the wall shoot over to the bone throne. Those are the remnants of my body. I need you to return the skull to my coffin. My home, my true home, lies just up ahead. The path that you are about to take. Simply walk in its doors and place my skull within the coffin, and I will owe you a great deal.
As someone who loves deals, okay, and has been screwed over one time, what's in it for me? Why would I do this?
Do we hear Armos like making this one-sided conversation?
You hear this conversation now. You hear the
you
room
do?
is talking to you. This room is talking to you. Yeah.
Armos.
That once you entered and it introduced itself, that's when you started. You were full in on this conversation.
Armos.
Morgan has her sword out and her modified hand crossbow, and she's like looking around, and she's locked in on like these eyes and these spider dragons that are like roaring and gurgling at you.
Yeah, I ask it, what could it possibly give me to want me to do this for Brixus?
Those who enter these caverns are going to the city of Stratham. In my new form, this prison do have a connection with the city. See, just like me, the city is partly made of flesh, and in which I have a special akin to it. So, we both know the dangers that lie above. And as above, so below. If you are within the city walls, and you find yourself in a bind, simply call out my name, and I will come aid you. I have reached to most of the city. There's a few areas that are just beyond my grasp, but some help is better than no help in a city of monsters.
As they're having this conversation, you see Minnis's branches begin to wither away and kind of curl down, and my spell wears off. Drell, you good? Everybody, we good?
Minnis, and I point to the wall with the eyeball.
Okay.
I would also like to, while this is happening, reach in my bag and pull out the stone of insight and put it on my head.
You take out the stone of insight, you put it on your head, and begins to circulate. And what would you like to do? Now that you've activated the stone.
You're going to do what I was going to do and make an insight check on this flesh cavern?
Yeah, I guess, can I just make like an insight check on like the entire conversation?
Sure.
Yeah, I want to do the same and see if I can sense anything malicious in his voice, I guess.
Roll me an insight check.
19.
Oh my god. I'm using a luck point because I rolled a nat 1. That's a 17.
Drell, with your insight stone, it does what the stone suggests. It gives you better insight into a conversation at a surface value. And you get the sense that it's trying to make a deal with you, and that the spider dragons are playing more of a defensive role here rather than attacking. Otherwise, you would have had to deal with 4 possible dragons at once rather than the 2 and the one that you slain. You get the sense that it's genuinely asking for something. However, with a 17, you don't know if it plans on going back to it because there's no facial recognition here. It's just 2 giant eyes melded in with the rocky, fleshy wall. Minnis, with your insight check and your clerical abilities, you know that this creature is undead. You feel that from how it's talking, you get the sense that it is in a situation it does not want to be in. You don't feel like it's lying to you. However, it's possible that this thing had made a mistake at some point in its life and had gotten himself in this situation and giving the sense that there's skulls all around. Drell, you picked this up too, even with a 17, that there's skulls and blood all around, that it probably didn't have the best intentions before it ended up in this scenario. And is now asking you for help to potentially free himself.
I look at Armos and I just say, like you said, you're the deal maker, so you've had good deals and you've had bad deals. I'm gonna leave this to you, but I don't think this is a good idea, man.
He feels like he is dealing with not a devil, or like not the devil himself, but definitely like a double-sided blade when making this deal. But he does feel like there's no mountain he wouldn't move in order to get his sweet revenge on what's lying above him, that he would definitely take this idea. So he is going to have a counter offer and offer Braxis, is that right? Brixus is going to talk to Brixus and cut a deal that Morgan and anyone that is ever with Morgan can pass freely and safely through this area. And that also, instead of bringing the skull, because it's not a friendly town, correct? Like, we're not going to just like get in. It's completely overran, correct?
Yes.
If you do this and let Morgan and anyone that's with her pass freely and safely, not only will we complete this, and I start to cast a spell
What do you mean
over
we?
towards.
Don't ruin this.
I start casting a spell over towards the throne, and with some of the flesh and some of the bone, I cast Create Undead.
The throne is resistant to your magic.
Ah, dang. I was like, it would be cool to like take his own head to to the place so he could show us. But
It senses that you're trying to cast a spell while making your point. I agree to your terms, but your attempts to move my body is insulting. You are not the first to try, and unless you bring my skull to its rightful place, you probably won't be the last. Trust me, if I could move it, I would have by now. If you bring my skull to my coffin, I will be in your debt, and even so, to sweeten the deal, if you bring my head to my coffin, when I am back to my former self, I will be not only indebted to you, well, we'll be acquaintances, let's say. And I ain't a bad friend to have.
I mean, I was kind of all about it until that conversation. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like you've heard a lot of these things before, Armos. This guy sounds like a sleazy car sales guy.
Reginald is singing, know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away.
All right, so we're gonna take. I'm gonna hold out my hand for, I don't know, for the skull, or for them to point me in the direction of the skull.
The skull is on the throne. It's like at the apex of the throne. He's asking you to remove the skull and take it with you.
All right, cool.
Morgan chimes in. She goes, I think he's referring to the house, the manor, just nearby.
Hey, blink 3 times if that's right, as I make a joke as I go and reach for the skull.
It blinks 3 times.
All right, so I grab the skull, give a nod, and kind of shuffle everyone out of the cave.
We will speak soon. You see that the spider dragons relinquish themselves as they back off. You loosen the skull, you take it within your hands, and you look at the eyes as you see the eyes begin to close as you leave the room with the skull. And you begin to make your way. And Morgan goes, okay, well, I don't want to be here any longer. I'm glad to have filled out my map as much as I did, but I want to get out of here. As much as I don't like where we're about to go, I certainly don't like it in here. And she begins to walk towards the exit.
Yeah, same.
As she's walking away, I'm like, "What? I mean, we got full access. We could fill out your full map here." And as we trail off down the hall,
You take the skull, and as you examine the skull, it's the skull of some kind of elf. Notice it's from its cranium. Then you notice that on its teeth, it has big wide eyes. It has a special socket where the ears would be grooved in. He has a very large cranium and a very elongated jaw, but you notice a certain pattern within its teeth. You notice fangs. You get the sense that perhaps this thing was a vampire at some point.
Oh, Drell, you might not get along with this guy.
And as you begin to head southward, the rocky cavern, the sharp pointed walls begin to fade and dull out as you hear the sounds of water flowing. The dark cavern opens up, and you are now on a stretch of rock surrounded by water. Ahead of you is a massive manor in the center of a cavern lake with huge stalagmites jutting out of the water. There are 2 paths, the path leading to the mansion, and then southward, another path leading into another cave. The mansion is enormous. It is pristine. It is Gothic in architecture. You see 2 huge statues on both sides of the entrance that look like to resemble the Baron that once lived there. The torches that are lit illuminate this green flame that lightly illuminates the area around it. South of the manor is a dock with a destroyed, decrepit boat that is somehow still floating within the water. The water here is beautiful and blue. You can see through it. You don't see any bodies, but by the dock, underneath the boat, you see this large formation of bones signifying a very large creature that once may have lived within the waters. The manor itself is huge. It looks like it's multiple floors. And you get the sense that this is the home that the being was referring to. And Morgan chimes in and she goes, remember how I said we were going to pass a really out of place house within the cave that leads to a sewer system? This is what I was referring to. It looks like the rumors are to be true that people used to be back before the city fell, before Stratham was known as Red City. Legend has it that people were taken away by some type of figure to the sewer, and I guess it's referring to the being we just met. And that is where we're going to end this week's session, with this decrepit boat that is somehow still staying afloat. And you see this massive staircase that leads to this beautiful, beautiful, pristine, slightly dusted mansion.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're
Very
still
active.
underground.
You are underground, yes.
Obviously, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Almost there.
You are very deep underground.
Some would say we're probably in an aquifer with all the water around.
Oh, perhaps.
You know,
Perhaps.
something along those lines.
Yeah, I did not know that word. Thank you for enlightening me. Aquifer. I'm going to use that in my daily life now, probably.
I just happened to notice that there's a kind of a bone-ish thing in the water.
Yeah, the
It's
giant formation of bones that I mentioned of a creature that once lived there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's the thing I was referring to. Yeah.
Hopefully that's not any kind of foreshadowing, huh?
No, maybe it's just a very
Hopefully not.
old house that Morgan had briefly mentioned. And then this dark presence just coincidentally, winky dink, just happened to knock on the door because from one being that deals with dark magic to another, felt a connection to you. But he's offering help. He's offering assistance. Who knows?
I like it. I like this guy. You know what?
We'll just blast him with some Eldritch
I think,
Bolts if he's...
I think people got him wrong.
Maybe. We don't know. He's just a flesh cavern. I mean, how bad could he be if he's just a wall with eyes? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? How bad could he be?
How
Honestly?
bad could he possibly be? Well, the Lorax comes in. That is the end of this week's session. A good one. Is a exciting combat. Spider dragons. We'll talk about it in the after show.
Yep.
Did not see the tree coming out, but we'll talk about it later. Does anybody have any recommendations this week before we send it off to the Patreon supporters?
I have so many recommendations.
Yeah.
And I'll get yours in there too. You want me to hit him up? Hit him up.
Wait,
I'll get him.
before we hit the recommendation, we have to make an announcement that this is the last session before our Christmas break, the last episode of 2024.
Damn.
Last session
See
of
you next
2024.
year.
See you next year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
We did not finish Arc 8 by the end of the year. I was kind of maybe hoping, but we're not there yet.
It's all right. More time.
Right.
Stretch it out.
More time.
Yeah.
More time.
No rush.
Oh, dang. You get more episodes.
Oh, man.
Dang.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
shucks.
I love episodes.
All right. Recommendations. Are we ready? I'm going to list them off rapid fire.
Send it.
Okay. First off, for Tony's sake, Marvel Rivals.
Yep.
Sure.
Supposed to be
Solid.
pretty good. I haven't
Amazing.
played it. Heard
Awesome.
good things. Next up, we have Delta Force. Free shooter. It's amazing. You can play Battlefield or you could play Tarkov mode. Amazing. Next up, we got Path of Exile 2.
I knew it. I knew he was going to do it. I would have
It's
bet my
better than the first
I would
one.
have bet my life that would have been
Oh, yeah.
Jared's recommendation on
Oh, yeah.
this podcast.
I've sunk
A
crazy
little
amount of
indie
hours
game
into
called
it.
Path of Exile. Maybe you've heard of
Yeah.
it. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you're in the know.
It is, if you've played Diablo and you even slightly like Diablo, this is the biggest step up ever. But those are the recs.
I have the real recommendation for this episode.
Okay, let's hear it.
The McRib is back at McDonald's, boys and girls. All right. The McRib is finally back. So go get one. Don't ask what it's made of. Just go get it. That's my recommendation.
Ribs, obviously. Maybe I'll get one tomorrow. That sounds delicious.
All right, Jared, you're getting 3 recommendation points for that.
Hey, wait, one of them was Tony's. I was just,
Whoa,
don't know
That's a
if Tony
solid
would
game.
have suggested that.
That's not what I was going to recommend.
Oh, okay.
Pokemon Pocket. If you got Pokemon Pocket and you're part of the Patreon, just go ahead, hit me up. We'll trade.
Mark him down, Dan. Get him.
What is Pokemon Pocket?
Oh, we'll talk about it after the show.
Alec, I'm just gonna save you about $100.
You like Pokemon cards, bro?
Yeah.
Do you hate that you can't play with people and also that they're not digital? I got a game for you.
All right, I gave Tony a mark.
Wow.
Well, you said it in podcast. So
That's
it
true. I
counts.
did. No, that's really true.
Yeah, Tony, you got to check my collector profile. I came up on some new cards this past weekend at a convention I went to.
Yeah, convention.
Yeah.
All right.
And on that note, see you in the after show.
All
or
right, send
next
them out to the
time
Patreon
after the break.
supporters.
Goodbye.
Job simple. On paper, the Golden D20, the most legendary artifact, hidden deep in the fortress of the Forgotten Rolls. They said it couldn't be done, but they didn't know about my crew. Every great heist starts with the unsung heroes, the ones who lay the foundation for success. And when it comes to groundwork, there's no one better than the Humbrea's heroes. Chips Tudum, D&D Version 69 were up first, sweeping the fortress grounds, clearing debris and silencing any alarms that they could. Drown and Man with Glass stood on nearby cliffs, their eagle eyes scanning for patrolling guards. Giant Fairman and Jacob Matthews set up a gear station, preparing grappling hooks, ropes, and the all-important bag of holding. Jacob Walker and John Carroll marked the escape routes, mapping every alley, tunnel, and shadowy corner. Johnny Tarr, Caitlin Ann, Native Nightmares kept the crew in high spirits, providing logistics and snacks. You can't steal on an empty stomach. Odie Mel and Rip Corded were on standby, the last line of defense in case anything went wrong. Taslin, Toby Large, Tyler Bigsby, Will Miller, they drove the cart and delivered the team to the fortress undetected. The fortress wasn't guarded by walls and soldiers, it was surrounded by ancient magic. That's where the Sidget College comes in. Aiden crouched by the outer gate, deciphering runes etched into the stone. Craig Dongbringer disarmed the holy seals of protection, its radiant magic glowing faintly in the dark. David Lachance leaned over the massive iron doors, muttering to himself as he cracked the puzzled locked doors with his mind. Patrick Winterstorm and Robit Crisp expertly redirected the arcane ley lines, causing the fortress magic traps to unravel like threads pulled from an ancient tapestry. Saint Chaos cast a veil of invisibility over the group, ensuring that the guards wouldn't see us coming. Sergio Rodriguez conjured an illusion of peaceful night, hiding our movements from scrying eyes. Distraction was key, and the Bloodshard Bandits knew how to make an entrance. Their job? Cause as much chaos as possible. Amanda Dulong led the charge, banging a war drum that echoed across the valley. Artemis summoned a storm that split the sky and rattled the fortress walls. Rains planted explosive glyphs around the outer gates, sending the guards into a frenzy. Ryan Green led a hit-and-run squad, drawing the enemy's attention to the opposite side of the fortress. Sly crept through the chaos, leaving behind false trails to confuse the guards. And Tanner Smith launched a grand finale, a fireworks display so bright and loud that it could be seen from the astral plane. With the guards distracted, the shadow smuggler slipped inside, silent as the shadows and sharp as steel. Benjamin Hayes worked on the final set of magical locks, his tools moving like clockwork. Dana Puckett cracked the vault door, her precision unmatched as each tumble clicked into place. Dylan Snyder unfolded his map of the fortress, guided the team step by step through the labyrinth corridors. And at the center was Marcus, aka Julius Kendris, calling the shots with a calm confidence that would put a dragon at ease. The golden D20 gleamed on the pedestal, bathed in a beam of enchanted light. Armos steps forward, his movements deliberate and precise. With a sly grin and whispered incantation, he dispels the final ward, and with one smooth motion slips the artifact into the protective case. Holding it up, he admires his brilliance for a moment before murmuring, "With this, we control who gets inspiration." A devilish smirk across his face as he tucks it away, ready to make his getaway.